Greetings, everybody. This is FitSpaz Recovery, and I'm your host, Paul, the producer. I'm here to help you stay fit, get healthy, and remain sober. Yeah. So I'm doing this podcast a little earlier than usual today because later on when I come home from my Marijuana Anonymous meeting, I want to try this new dance program. I've already, this is it right here actually, size, and I've done a few of the dance programs. I've repeated them a lot. I've gotten good at the first three in the series, and I want to move on to this next one, which I just previewed at lunch. And so it was very hard to prepare lunch and watch this dance program. It was driving me a little bit crazy because I was very distracted because I'm like watching the dance, trying to learn it while I'm cutting up ingredients for a salad, and so I was like, and then I'm trying to get it to play on my TV as I'm eating my lunch, and it's so darn fast and so complicated. But anyway, I decided tonight, after I come home from my meeting, I want to try this dance program, this one in the series. It's called In the Pocket, and yeah, just so I'm doing this early today to get it out of the way because I usually like to do it Wednesday nights, but today I have this special goal of wanting to do this dance, Size, with Sean T. And I will, at the end when you do the whole sequence, I will be videotaping it, and I won't be I might like show it here eventually after I've done this program a few times to see like the progression and see if I improved. Every one of these I do it the first day, and it's not so great to look at, and I don't have a great dance style yet, but I'm not the worst. And so I repeat it, I do it a subsequent time, and each and every time I notice I'm getting better, I'm keeping up better, I'm on the rhythm better. And so this one is something though, because instead of doing one move per 8-beat count, he's like changing it up, and you're doing two different things within 8 beats. So, and it's some of the vocabulary we've already learned with certain moves, and it's complicated, and yet I'm watching it here a few minutes ago, eating my lunch, and I'm like, I want to do it! And I'm thinking, should I go down and do it now? And I'm like, no, I think I'll save it until later. I'll come down here. It's going to make me extremely sweaty, and that's part of the beauty, is it's not high intensity interval training, and it winds up being a form of cardio, and you're constantly moving and you're not taking breaks. So by the end of it, I expect to be insanely warm and sweaty like on all the other ones. I mean, I drip more doing these dance routines than some of these high intensity cardio routines that I've been doing. But anyway, that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm still doing the bodybuilding. I have I'm on my 4th repetition of these exercises, and then I move on to this new phase of it called the bulk phase, and I'm liking it. I feel like I see that my muscles, they get more tone and stuff. I haven't gained a lot of weight, and one of the things I need to do if I really want to keep growing and getting bigger is I need to eat more, and that's really hard for me to do. I wish I could hire a cook and be like, hey, this is my exercise routine. I want you to cook. Dink, dink, dink. I want you to prep all these meals for the week, and other nights I want you to fix this, and I want you to prepare these snacks for me, and then I'll just come at a given time of day and eat it. And because I have the acid reflux sometimes, I don't like to overeat, but I do want to grow. I mean, right now I'm about 174. My peak weight was 177, 178, somewhere in there, and I might have lost some fat around my belly because I have improved my nutrition in recent history. But as far as getting bigger, I need to eat more. If my goal is to get bigger, I need to eat more, and it's really hard. And yeah, it costs money. That's not so much the issue. It takes more time and dedication and discipline for me to follow a nutrition plan than it does for me just to get up and be disciplined about doing my workout every day. But I love it. I love this Body Beast workout. I have a feeling once I finish this round, I'm going to just move right on into something else. It makes me feel very good. Very, very good. Fitness, baby. Just getting up every day in that routine, I love it. It helps me feel like there's that part of my day. I want to fill my whole day with things that are just as gratifying as being able to kick out a fitness routine. And um, it's important to pay attention to my body. The weight I've been lifting is kind of extraordinary. If you look back at the first time I went through this routine, like I was lifting much lighter weight. So my strength has increased enormously, and I feel like my strength has increased more than my actual bulk size. About a year ago when I started this program, I was about 143 at my low weight in the morning, and I'm up to about 20 pounds since then, and I'm very pleased because I think by and large it's mostly muscle weight. And I'm going to talk about something a little more serious related to my meditation routine shortly, but I'm just wanting to say that I think I'm going to roll into another round of this program. I'm just going to keep going. Like, I want to fill most of my 2016 with this one program. I really want to push the limits of my body size. And just a second ago, I said I have to pay attention to my body. And it's true, because for some reason, when I'm doing a chest workout, I have this sort of pain in here and in my shoulder. And I don't get that pain when I'm doing pull-ups. I don't get that pain when I'm doing shoulders, direct shoulder workout stuff. But like, something about these positions I'm in doing chest flies, it irritates this portion of my shoulder. So I've been thinking about that a lot, just paying very close attention to that, because if anything, I wanted to get better, not worse. And I have a little pain right here, kind of in my elbow area, and so I'm just watching out for those things. My back has been doing great. I had a relief routine today. I did a full body stretch. I did some light warm up, running in place, running around in my basement, getting my heart pumping, doing some stair stepping before I did the full stretch routine. Everything. I stretch everything. And then I do some light foam roller on my legs. And the whole reason I'm telling you is because if I just go ahead and work out and I don't do the relief stuff, I notice that I'll be too stiff. I'll wake up stiff. I'll be in my bed sleeping, and I'll notice that I wake up really stiff, and it's not good. So, but I have also noticed the benefit of this relief routine, keeping my muscles fluid and whatnot. And what was the and my back. So like, when I've had back issues in the past, I just noticed that keeping these light recovery routines seems to maintain that problem. I have much less of an issue when I go back to the stretching routine. So relief, 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 just as important as working out. So the light movement gets the blood circulating, it gets nutrients delivered to my muscles, keeps my body healing. I love all of that, to be honest with you. And if I have the time this afternoon, I might even go for a little bit of a walk, because I like doing that. Get out in the sun, absorb some of that vitamin D. I love all of that. I love walking. Walking is one of the easiest things you can do just to get your body circulating. And so, high or stoned or whatever it is in my life, I'm always wanting to walk when the weather's nice and my body's not in a bad way. So, let me move on to my next topic. It's kind of interesting, in my opinion. These are things I've been thinking about. In life, getting better at things every single day, being devoted to certain activities that keep the mind sharp and keep you on the cusp of always learning something new, growing personally with skills or professionally or whatever, things that make you feel good just because every day you're taking one tiny little step in the right direction. And this week I've been practicing guitar quite a bit, which has been very nice. And there are a myriad of benefits to that, including like the dance routine before, which ties in a little bit. It's just having to focus on what you're doing and mentally reinforcing those connections in the brain when you have the muscle memory and hearing the melody and the meditation aspect of music looping over and over. I love all of that. So I've been practicing guitar a little bit, enough so that my calluses are coming back, enough so that I'm getting a little more endurance built up, because it's like doing push-ups. You can't play that long if you haven't been practicing that much. So it's like repeating. The same thing is true with singing. You keep doing it and your voice gets stronger, it lasts longer, and even sounds better, I think, to be quite honest with you. So from that I'm leading into, I'm still doing my morning meditation and prayer routine. Oh, is that in my shot? Lame. Water. So I'm still doing my morning meditation and prayer routine. And this past week in particular, I had kind of what I would say is a really significant realization about this activity. Both of them. How they both benefit me, how they differ between meditation and prayer, okay? And I'll talk about them both, but I'll begin by describing some things about meditation in that activity for me. Of course, I've talked about how it's to develop relaxation, patience, and focus, which I want to spill over into every aspect of my life. And like I talked about a little bit last week, it's also about expanding my mind, the horizon of my mind, and using more of my brain and being able to have a better memory, being able to develop skills more quickly and efficiently. Everything you would want from your mind over matter, being able to imagine, visualizing how I want my body to grow and be shaped, being able to control my metabolism with my mind. And they're like, what? Is that possible? I don't know if it's possible, but I'm trying to imagine that that's possible. I'm trying to believe that certain things are possible and move in that direction as if they are. And that includes having control of my health all the way down to every little cell in my body, being able to heal myself and whatnot. So let me get to the main point of what I was thinking about this week. And I thought it was kind of an extraordinary distinction I made between how meditation benefits me versus how prayer benefits me, or may not be benefiting me. I'll get to that, and how I can change it to be more beneficial. So meditation can be described, for me, the way I approach it, as emptying out my ego and my selfishness and self-absorption. Meditation is not something where I would say I'm thinking about me, I. If anything, I let go of my ego in order to achieve a very clear mind, because I think the clear mind is not working and it's allowing me to rejuvenate personally, spiritually. Having a clear mind, meaning also that I'm not dwelling on my problems when I'm meditating. In fact, I've become very good at this, which astonishes me. When I'm in the meditation, I'm disciplined about, when this thought comes up, I'm like, just dismiss that. Unless it's really profound, I've been known to indulge in certain things. I usually let it go, because if it's something I'm thinking about personally, whatever it is, especially things that bother me in my life, or even silly things, sometimes I'll be thinking about, I have an Iron Maiden song in my head, and I'm imagining those guys on stage, and I'm like, just let that go. Empty out, clear out. So the objective of meditation for me, in many ways, results in me letting my ego go. So I'm not being self-absorbed and selfish at that given moment. And I find it extraordinary how true that is, that the world is not revolving around me. Now let's begin to contrast that to prayer. I noticed this past week that prayer for me, I go right into it right after meditating, and it's a tremendous change of wavelength in my mentality and my mood and the whole approach. So I've started tweaking it this week, and let me tell you why. Because I think for me, the way I was approaching prayer is inherently more egotistical, because of the way I was going through a certain set list of things in my life, almost whining and complaining or focusing in on problems, and then feeling emotionally like challenged by them within the context of prayer. So I started looking at prayer more like, well, how can I completely change what I'm doing so that it's still prayer, but I'm getting an extension of the benefits that I get out of meditation, which I think are good for me. So I'm not thinking about people. So I was thinking about people. I would be frustrated. I'd be going through a whole set list of problems in my life in prayer instead of thinking that praying to become the kind of person that I am in meditation, meaning that if I do that, I will enjoy the positive benefits of meditation within prayer, and doing so, becoming a more relaxed, focused person, calm, patient. Those qualities will inherently allow me to deal with my problems and solve my problems more productively, rather than coming into prayer and being like, hey, higher power, help me solve these problems. But there was always a part in my prayer about, I want to solve my problems, and I'm not putting a bunch of blame or responsibility on that higher power to solve my problems, because as many times, I've actually said this in my prayer, the buck stops with me. I don't blame a higher power or others for things that I know they're in my personal domain as far as taking action to do things about them, to build my life, to solve the problems in my life. But so I'm personally tweaking my prayer routine to be a little less egotistical, a little less about whining. It was too whiny, I think. And a little more about making it an extension of my meditation routine, subtracting the whining, trying to build myself up the qualities that will allow me to solve whatever those problems are, whatever I was whining about in the first place. And I find that to be totally a new distinction. So related to that, I was like, this is really interesting. I actually sat there after meditating and praying on a couple days this week, and I was thinking about that. I was like, it's really interesting how I've made that distinction. And also it's really gratifying how these disciplines I have, whether it's praying, whether it's meditating, they are adaptable for me. So like I look at them, I think about them, I analyze them, and I say, what about that can change a little bit? What about that can be better? Because I think as I tweak it, the benefit enhances, the benefit grows. And what kind of benefit are we talking about? Short term and long term, I think. So like short term, in the given moment, I'm training my mind to be calm, at ease, and it's a just smooth feeling. It's being even keel, which is very important. Things still piss me off, but I'm dealing with a lot of things in a whole different way. And so short term, I get this calm throughout my entire body. I always do it before my exercise routine, and something about that I came to do because of my experience in Kung Fu the last couple of years. The way there's always this beginning of the training session where it's meditating and relaxing the mind. And so the long-term benefit, I'm hoping, is that there will be some kind of blossoming or flourishing, and that's what I think is happening. That's why I think this week I made this cool distinction. People might be like, what the hell you're talking about? This is all boring stuff you're talking about, Paul. But to me, it has actual meaning in my life. So if prayer is a part of your life, if meditation is part of your life, and this might sound like a lecture too, I'm sorry about that, but I'm just being philosophical and getting up on my little seat here and talking about my life experience. I hope someone relates to it in a positive way. So long term, I'm hoping that there's a different kind of benefit that accumulates over time, because I've been very consistent with this habit and I want to maintain consistency with this habit. Okay? I'm still somebody who says I'm a marijuana addict. I know I am. It's been over 16 months, over like 16 and a half months now since I last had marijuana, and I'm still dreaming about it at night. I'm still having dreams about using marijuana, which I think is unbelievable. Last night I dreamt I was rolling joints and incorporating little bits of hash in there and smoking them. And then there's this feeling that's frequent. It's almost like a recurring dream where it's like I smoke and I'm aware that I've quit in my life and I'm smoking again. And so there's this pervasive frustration. And so then I wake up and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm totally relieved that that was a dream and that that wasn't real. But during the day, I will still have temptations to do certain things. I'll go to my parents for dinner and I walk in and my dad's already got a glass of wine poured in a for himself, and sometimes I think, should I have one? And I just immediately kind of go, nah. It's not that strong of a draw, but there's still this sort of like click, glass of wine, and I can even smell it after he's poured it. I smell it, and I so much relate the experience of drinking to there's that buzz there. And so even though I appreciate the taste of wine with a good bowl of pasta, I'm like, yeah, I know who I am, and I don't have to have a glass of wine because I appreciate the taste. I know there's that tie with me into the buzz. And the buzz, as I've talked about, being a gateway to all kinds of inappropriate behaviors, things I shouldn't be doing, like smoking, drinking, or whatever drugs they are. That buzz is a bad link to something else for me. Even after dinner last night at my parents' house, sometimes I'll leave, and then as I'm leaving, my dad comes outside to the back door of the garage to smoke a cigarette. And last night, I just had this thought, and I didn't really act on it, just said, what about smoking a cigarette? And then I was like, no, you kidding me? No way, because I know what that would lead to inherently. That's another kind of trigger thing, because if I get addicted to cigarettes, it's just a matter of time before I quit them again. And I'll be like, oh, well, screw these cigarettes. They're 10 million times more evil than marijuana. And it'll be an excuse in my mind to use marijuana to get off cigarettes. And then I'll be back in the same boat of having to quit smoking marijuana again. Lame, 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 right? But the cool thing is I realize all of this. And even though I realize it, and even though I'm making the right decisions in the moment, the tempting moments, what drives me crazy is that, like, these tempting moments, they never go away. That's always a component of my personality, because if this stuff were going to go away, these tempting moments, they would have already. I think it's the byproduct of having the past life where I've just lived extremely, extremely indulgently. And extremely. Like getting drunk 3 times a week, smoking every day from dawn to dusk, marijuana, and at times throw cigarettes into that mix, and at times here and there throw other drugs into that mix. In my whole life, I don't think I've done cocaine, for example. It's probably around 5 times I've done it. 5 different occasions with five to 8 maximum. And so, but even still, it's because it wasn't there. If someone was coming every week when I was at the bar and like, hey, I got this stuff, you want to go over here in the bathroom and do it? I'll be like, okay, when I'm drunk. And that's just the way the addicted, indulgent mind works. And it's lame. And then on the other hand, it's like, it's fun, but it just wears on you. It becomes ponderous. I'm intellectually so well aware of how the drug use is like something you're always chasing that's not quite satisfying you enough when you're doing things all the time. And so I avoid it. I still miss it. I'm still that guy who misses it. I still want it. And what am I going to do? What I'm going to do is just try and stay sober. Right now, my routines matter to me. Getting a good night's sleep, eating well, meditating, praying, and exercising. I love the exercise. I love seeing the change in my body. I love the way when I'm doing a heavy cardio routine, I just feel so alive. And they talk about those endorphins. Those are real. I think that's part of what I'm getting addicted to. I've found a positive way to have sort of a positive addiction. I don't like to use the word addiction, but I get hooked on the activity because after half an hour of huffing and puffing and being like, there's something kicking into the body that's like, feel good. And, you know, you can probably also have stress hormones be releasing if you're going about it the wrong way. Or I've also heard once you start exercising, you do have stress hormones, but then your body adapts and it becomes the new normal and it's not as stressful. I think I'm sort of there. I love that. I love going about half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour doing just huff and puff stuff and move, 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 keep going. And I love these trainers from Beachbody because there are a few of them who are just like, come on, keep going, keep going. This lady I keep thinking of when I'm saying this, Autumn Calabrese, is like, don't quit. Don't quit. And I'm like, oh man, I had planned on quitting. And then you come along here and say, don't quit. But she actually, that's what I actually love about that particular lady, is the way she's like, just keep going. So, I'm going to start wrapping this up because I'm at 25 minutes now, and that's kind of the amount of time I like to put into this. I'm Paul from FitSpaz Recovery, and if you have any feedback based on anything I was saying, maybe I can help you get to the next stage in your life. I have a team called Team FitSpaz, and this week I was toying with the idea of maybe I want to call it a cult. Cult FitSpaz. But then I thought of David Koresh, and I'm like, maybe I don't want to be a cult leader. But as long as it's a positive cult, as long as nobody's getting hurt and everybody's bettering themselves, cult, why not? We'll see. As soon as I have a team, we can discuss this openly, thoroughly. Cult FitSpaz. Yeah, man. Oh, God. So anything past show, anything you want to hear, you want to follow me on social media, you want to watch these videos, you go to FitSpaz.com. Everything in social media and on YouTube is accessible through the site. And I do these shows once a week. I've been doing them on Wednesday and posting them on Wednesday. Occasionally I have missed a Wednesday and I post it up immediately the following day. I'm trying to remain regular with this in my life because I think the little bit of effort somehow will pay off in the future. I tie it all in to fitness, feeling good, so substance abuse is a big topic here. That's where the recovery comes from in this, because a lot of us have just pulverized ourselves and punished ourselves for years, indulging in all kinds of things that we shouldn't have. So let me just say that I want to thank Kevin MacLeod, who is the excellent composer whose music you hear in the background of this podcast. You can find out more about that guy by going to incompetech.com. He has a lot of pieces. I'm astonished at the volume of stuff he's recorded and written over the years. And you can use it in your short movie. You can license it outright, and if it's non-commercial and you give him credit in the proper way, you can use it without him paying at all. At least that's how I understand how it works. So incompetech.com. Thank you, Kevin MacLeod. And until next time, everybody, this is FitSpaz Recovery. Do me a favor. Stay safe. Stay sober. Let's get fit and healthy together, shall we? All right, everyone. Have a nice week, and I will be talking to you soon.
Do you see this stinking zit right here? I have to be patient, cause this is there for many days. It don't go away. I squeeze it, nothing come out. Then it's more red and inflamed. Sometimes you just have to wait. And if you mess with it, it makes it worse. Sometimes just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? This zit is a metaphor for your life.